Hi all. Right, on to the most important part up to now. Turn 16, US action phase. Right, so just at a glance at things before I started recording, I have 7 points on this side, guaranteed. I'm actually guaranteed to get an eighth as well. And on this side, I only have at the moment 1 point. Is that right? I only have another one on this side. However, I'm guaranteed with my actions to get another 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. Another 3. So that shows you how close that was. And once I show you a couple of things that you might have noticed, you can see how we could never be sitting in this position. You know, if we got some really good luck at the end, as it turned out, whether we had some bad luck leading up to that. But that just shows you, like I say, 7 on that side. Okay, I can guarantee an eighth. Only 1 on this side, but I can guarantee another 3. So 8 and 4 is only 12. We needed 11. And that's pushing it to... I'll just go over a couple of the points that we were lucky on. Okay, I know some of you are probably saying, "Look, Grant, just go on with the action phase and let's see it." But I'm doing it my way. Okay. So what was it I was going to check? Yes, first of all, the event card that we got. Now, yeah, I was cringing because we had yet another reinforcement card. But I was just looking back on things, and like I say, some of you may have noticed this, but before in the previous episode, I heard myself talking about, right, I don't want Zone A and Zone C reinforcing. And we got reinforcements again, and what we got? We got B, D, and E. We did not get A and C. If we had got A, that would have reinforced, losing us that point there. And C, the reinforcing C would have been this hex here, losing us this point here. So plus this is the other guaranteed hex I'm going to get. My action can be moving up to here to grab this. So this is my 8th point on this side. So if A and C had reinforced, that is 1, 2, and then we wouldn't be able to get that, so 3. So I would only have 5 points on this side if that event had been reinforcing zones A and C. Okay, it wasn't. And somebody says, well, it wasn't, just go on with it. But I just wanted to point out that although I do feel that we have been unlucky, that's 3 reinforcements in the trot from the event card, so there's got to be a bit of bad luck in that. So to have got A and C, that would have been extreme, you know. And the other one, yeah, it was over the other side. Hang on. Actually, it wasn't. For some reason, I thought this had got occupied. Because remember, there was I took ages to decide about should I take a chance and move one of these up to here to grab that point. And then I thought, watching back on things, for some reason I thought this got spoiled anyway, but it hasn't, so that's not really relevant. But you seen what we turned over here, that would have been such a gamble, moving one of them away, we wouldn't have got that. But how about this as well here? These blue and green reinforcing, and neither of them firing. Yeah, sorry, the blue did... on turn 15, we got a triangle, but it didn't get blue and green, and that would have disrupted this and this, completely wiping things out here. But we also had to survive in turn 16, the same scenario, because I mean, this turn, now would we have got away with that? If blue or green, well, if blue had, well, blue did fire, but it fired at diamonds. But if it had been triangles, this unit would have got tied down, and one of these would have got tied down. Now, have we got BZ, BR? Yeah, we would have been okay. We would have been okay with this one, because we still would have had a unit and able to take that guy out by himself. So that wouldn't have lost us the 2 points there. However, if this guy had got disrupted, we would not be able to take this guy out, because I think we need the BZ. So that would have lost us that point that we're hopefully going to, well, we are going to be able to take. We're guaranteed it now. So that would have lost another point there. So it just shows you, with that bit of luck there. I mean, you could say, well, lucky, you get lucky bits, you get unlucky bits, and whatever. But down to, what did I say? 5 points on 5 points on the west side, and the east side, and we would have been down to 1, 2, 3. We would have been down to 3 points on the west side only. We would have been 8 points. 8 points. If that event had come up, A and C, and blue had fired, I mean, blue got a chance to fire twice there. Okay, it fired the second time, but all our units being triangles ended up being really lucky there. Yeah, they hit the diamonds again. So, yeah, I feel quite lucky to be moving on with things. But as long as I don't put some stupid foot out of place, I have to say that big thanks to Martin for reminding me, because you know what, I'd already talked about control and I'd went over it and whatever, but I'm not so sure if you hadn't mentioned this, Martin. I might have just blundered my way into this and not actually done it. When we're in here, we are not, I talked last episode, I made a comment, so it's not the last episode, because I think this turn 16 is going on for more than it should be, but anyway, whatever episode I talked, right, turn 16, I'll move that guy in there, and he controls once we've taken this unit out, he controls all 4 of these hexes. Well, he does not, he only controls this one and this one. These 2 are on higher ground, and Martin reminded me of that a couple of episodes back, admittedly, and I'm so glad he did, because I'm not so sure I would have stayed switched on to that one. And I was actually, when he mentioned that, I was probably ahead. When he mentioned that, I was probably couple episodes in front. I was like, I started panicking, thinking, well, and there is a slight panic here, because we need to bring one of these units down, but I'm pretty sure I'm okay to bring one of them. But that's some of the other stuff about if that had got disrupted, it could have spoiled it. Yeah, I think I need to bring one of these guys, but I can afford to bring one of them down into here, controlling this hex. So I think we're okay for that. But I'll need to just obviously double check just before I decide that that's where I'm moving to, make sure that I've got it all covered. So I'm just trying to get this card out of the way again. And that another horrible event back there. So yeah, that was a couple of comments there. So I'm glad Martin did mention it. The other couple of things, now I've been talking about trying to set up the engineer's situation for this draw in particular, because this is the best one that we've got kind of organised. We've got units all standing by, waiting to start moving up, hopefully. And I was talking about occupying these hexes, which I have done, and I'm going to finish that off by doing that here. But the other one, again, that John Brown had mentioned a wee while back, and then Martin also added, is that these will possibly reoccupy. Now, I definitely need to go and look at German communication, to find out where they can't trace through. I'm pretty sure it's pavilion hexes and beach hexes that they can't come down to. I'm just not sure about draws. So I need to have a look at that, but I mean, this one here looks like it's just waiting to reoccupy, isn't it? Um, unless we get lucky, get these other infantry units in, take red quickly, but then it's up the bluff here. We need to move stuff across, however. So I should be looking at, if not occupying these hexes, and I mean, here I want to occupy them, and my main reason was to be able to establish an engineer base so that I can then start getting that moving. But the other reason, obviously, is we don't want them getting reoccupied. We're going to have a hard enough time. We don't want units coming back for the dead. Well, that's where they'll come from, eliminated units. But it's just like they're getting some reinforcements, and But there's some other areas on the map that I need to seriously look at. This here, if I am moving this unit away, is this going to be safe? It looks like this one might be. And to be honest, if I bring that unit into there, is that one going to be safe? Well, I think it probably is as well. And then you've got this green position along here, which we moved away from because we can't control it, because brown firing into it. But I might consider moving this back and possibly moving this unit into here, if that's going to shut off communication to that, because we don't want that reoccupying. But I don't know, if you can go through the draw, then I probably can't shut off that. So I'm a bit annoyed I moved that unit from there to there. I was watching back on that, and then I thought, yes, I don't want them sitting in steady brown rouleau, but I don't know if it means that there's a chance at reoccupying again. I'm going to be kicking myself. And the last point over here was, why did I not just move this unit down? I was watching the video and saying, yeah, move him down. Because we could... I mean, I know he's sitting in this purple steady and he's vulnerable, I know that, but we could have had a shot at this and disrupted it. We've not got the weapons, but he gets double right enough, so he's 2. So we're attacking with 2 against 2. But we've got this anti-aircraft. There's 2 units given 3 strength that reach this, and they're in command of the HQ. So that's another 3, so it'd be 5 against 2. So we can double this and disrupt it. And why not? We could also attack that one. We don't have the weapons. He's got 2 strength. I don't think these are in range, or are they? 1, 2. Yeah, no, they're not in range. That was the downside to that. But if we keep this guy disrupted, then move these guys along, and also the infantry's coming on. So I kind of felt like I should have moved that down, but because why not get this one disrupted before the infantry arrives, and then at least that takes that one out for a little bit. I don't know, maybe it wasn't such a big deal, but it felt kind of like I wish I had done it after all. Okay, so I think that's all. Oh no, there was one other thing, which I'm going to have to put a comment in, because I actually comment about this. Again, going back to when we do actually place the engineer base, which we're going to place it, what did I say? This hex or this hex. And I said, yeah, I'll need to use actions on these guys. Well, we do get traffic management, which is part of 19.3, which is the capabilities of engineer bases. Traffic management says US units that begin their move in a beach pavilion or draw hex in an engineer unit's range of operations may perform a movement action for free. A unit you are moving via traffic management may be moved onto the high ground. The traffic management benefit does not extend to units beginning their move on the high ground and does not allow combat actions. So if we put the engineer base in this hex here, now when we first place it, unfortunately it starts with a 0 range, which does actually mean that it can give these guys a free move. However, it doesn't extend into clearing anything. So, in actual fact, all that would do, I think, would you be able to even do that? Or do you have to be moving it up the draw? I don't think you do actually. Does not a traffic management does not extend to units beginning their move on the high ground. Yeah, so it does look like you could, if I plonked it there, it would give these 2 units a free move. However, this none of this, the shingle wouldn't be clear yet, so the free move would only enable them to move, you know, one side to the other. But then once it moves to a 1, then we can move these units onto here, and it also brings these 2 guys in it because they've got it's got a range of 1 now, you know. So anyway, I did misspeak when I said that they would have to use actions, because after me saying that, I thought, nah, this doesn't seem right. There's something that gives you some kind of free ability, and there it's there. Traffic management, good stuff. Right, let's get moving. And so we're past all the bad stuff. We're on the US action phase. There's no events to come. That is right, isn't it? Skipping turns 1 to 16. Yeah, I'm looking at the second event card thinking, don't tell me it happens on turn 16. That wouldn't be nice, would it? Sorry, I just turned away there. Yeah, so all the bad stuff is out of the way, so it's all good stuff to come. So yeah, and the one downer that we got from that last phase, but I mean, I can't complain. I've just said how lucky we were about these not reinforcing, blue and green not firing up there. The one downside was red fired, hit this unit and disrupted it. So unfortunately, we're not going to get a pop at red. Well, we could, but it's just going to be with 4 strength, and I don't think that's going to be a wise choice. We have seen a couple of the ones from the tactical reinforcements, but do I feel lucky? I'm not so sure I do. I think I'd rather not take the chance in giving that guy depth and just... oh, hold on. Oh, no, he's on the lower ground, isn't he? Yeah. Because he's in range, but he's not got line of sight, if you like. He's not on the higher ground. Okay, so, right, well, let's get things moving then. That's the first thing we can do, is take that disruption off. There's no other guys disrupted. So some of this should be reasonably straightforward, but you know what I'm like. Okay, I thought I'd better just have a look at German communication there again. So it's 12.2. And it says a German position is in communication if you can trace a path of hexes of any length from the position to any exit hex A through G. So they're all, well, there's some down the side and there's some up the top. So, I'll zoom out a little bit. It's basically saying, you can, this can trace a way up here, and where there's C there, exit hex C, D, but I mean, he could go right along here. There's nothing stopping him from doing that. So, and likewise, there's A is over there, B's up in the corner there, the exit hex. So and it's any length, right? Right, so what's the restrictions? The path may not pass through any hexes occupied or controlled by US units. Okay, good enough. So this unit here, he can't trace a line of communication into this hex because we have got control of that hex. Furthermore, a German communication path may not pass through a rough hex. Well, I don't think anything can go through. Well, I suppose, yeah. I mean, nothing can go through these, I don't think. So it can't trace through that anyway. A beach hex, so that's all the white hexes, obviously, down by the beach, which I thought was the case. Or a pavilion hex adjacent to a beach hex. Oh, okay. So it's all, right, because I suppose the draws are classed as pavilion style hexes. Well, it says pavilion/draw. But the last sentence says, though, the path may pass through draw or pavilion hexes not adjacent to the beach. Okay, so all these hexes along these pavilion hexes, they're all adjacent to the beach. Now, these, my guess is these two are included with that too, but this one is a draw hex, that is not adjacent to the beach. So these, it could trace, so it could go from here, trace into here and up here, you know. Is that on? Have I got that? Yeah, that's on. So it can trace through the draws, is where I was wondering about. Okay, so we'll need to keep a close eye on that. Right, let me. Okay. 12.21 is a tricky one though. A German unit in a hex adjacent to a US unit negates US control of that hex. No, okay, I was thinking about that wrong. For purposes of tracing German communication through the hex, including tracing communication for the German unit itself. Yeah, basically it's saying that although this is adjacent, then you can still trace through that hex. I suppose the thing is the units don't move about. Well, I suppose there's a case there. I suppose the double WN positions. If we had a US unit here, then we could trace from here through here through here. I think that's what that's saying. German unit and hex adjacent to US unit negates US control of that hex for purposes of tracing German communication through the hex, including tracing communication for the German unit itself. Yeah. And then 12.22, when tracing communication to an unoccupied German position, for example, to determine if a German reinforcement may be placed there, the position's hex itself can be in US control and still be in German communication if a communication path can be traced. Yeah, well, that's like saying, where could I see? Yeah, no, maybe not. I'm just looking for one. Well, there's one there actually. Yeah, the green position, which we're not. We're going to fix that anyway. So we have control over this hex at the moment. But if they got that reoccupy action, which I've not read, but my understanding is it looks at WN positions, and if they're empty and can trace communication, you place a new WN unit there. Actually, I did look at it because you draw out you shuffle up the eliminated WN units and place one in here. But right at the moment, this position, although it's controlled by US unit, can trace communication into this draw hex, into here, into there, and away. So a WN unit could be placed here. I believe, and I think that's what that means. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember this one. 12.23, German Bocage communication. Right, I'll not go into this, but some of the units get to withdraw, they don't actually get eliminated, and they get to run away. And that's what that rule comes in. It's horrible. I remember that being quite horrible. A German reinforcement position occupied by a German unit may trace communication through one Bocage hex adjacent to the position, excuse me, even if that hex is controlled but not occupied by a US unit. So I remember when I'm playing, alright, I'm going to attack that, and we've got that Bocage hex, and you've got to think about that as well. And they end up getting away. So you've got to watch for that one as well. But no, that's to come. That's to come. Well, at least we're getting into that situation. As long as I don't do something clumsy here. Right, okay, well, we've been through all that, so yeah, 25 minutes coming up for. You've not moved out yet. Well, I've undisrupted this guy. Right. That's a start. Okay, let's get moving then. Okay, my first move was going to be this, and I've realised that's actually an action. But I've just looked, and there's no other action I can see is moving this tank across into here. I thought be better if we had 4 that are our best units down here ready to move into the road. Thing is, you can only move 2 units into the hex at a time, so I don't know if it's worthwhile putting them into this. And or just leaving them down here and working them up. I don't think it makes any odds, does it? No, it doesn't look like it. Of course, they're still on the lower ground here. It's not as if they can start making... Yeah, anyway. Right, okay, grand. So I think I should go in here, though, and take that position, because the way we're going with our events, that could quite easily reinforce. It's not a terribly dangerous hex to move into. It's a wee one-step unit. And yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what we're going to do. I think we're going to try and go for red, but not this turn. We're going to wait till next turn. And then after that, well, I don't know. I don't know. Probably move the force across here and try and go for blue and purple and close the draw, I suppose. Protect the draw as these units come up. I don't know. Right, so I think as my first action, I'm going to do that, and that's actually using an action. But everything else around here's round the general and round the HQ. They're all getting free moves. It would just be this tank moving across, but I'll leave it till last. Well, in actual fact, I don't know. I mean, yes, I'd like to get the... yeah. That's the other downside to this guy being stuck. We can't... Well, we can, but it's going to concentrate the hex. So, and even moving into this draw hex, we're still not up on ground, you know? Can't do nothing. That's annoying. No, I don't want to move into that. It just turns it almost into an intense fire hex if red fires, you know. I know they're only getting one hit, mind you. That's a point. Oh, why could it not been the other way about? And that guy was disrupted, then I could have just moved this guy into there, couldn't I? At the expense of an infiltration move, Grant. Hey ho, okay. And I could do that, but I want to keep purple occupied, because purple's part of the puzzle down here, isn't it? Yes. Great. So I'm stuck there. Don't know what to do. There's no great point in bringing him up here. Oh, he's sitting in the orange as well. Oh, maybe I'm just leaving him. That's a bit annoying as well. But I can't move him onto the high ground this turn anyway. And next turn, hopefully I can move him onto the high ground into this hex here. Well, let's just say if this guy hits again, if he gets hit again, he's a one-step unit. So then we can put him into there without concentrating the hex. So that makes sense. So my thinking is that both of these, so I don't think these are moving, and it doesn't seem right to move that. You know, even if it is giving us the flank situation into there, it's into intense. I'd rather have a go at the guy while he's on his own, disrupt him first before I try any of that nonsense. Plus, again, it would be an infiltration move, so... Right, so, yeah, I think I might be leaving all the rest as it is. But that still does achieve... Right, we don't get the point for that hex because red's still firing into it. We are going to get the point for this hex. And we are going to get the 2 points... Oh, sorry, the point for orange. I didn't think that was 2, did I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe I did. Because did I not say I could get 8? Ooh. Did I count orange as 2? So we've got 1 for the purple, 1 for the orange, that's 2. 2 for the greens, 4. 5. 6. And then the move up to there to take that one for 7. I think I might have done. Ooh, that makes it even closer then. I think we're guaranteed 4 on the other side, weren't we? We get 2 for the orange, 1 for the red, 3, and we're going to take that unit out for another 1. Only just. Yeah, I think we're only getting... I miscalculated there. I think it's because I thought orange was a double, was 2 points. That's silly, Grant. Okay, well, you're getting away with it, and that's fine. Right, so... Okay, so we've got purple and orange. That's the 2 points there, right? Let's work on the rest then. So, and I want to get the 2 green positions occupied. And I'm not sure what you guys are thinking about this one. If you think that's a bit silly or not, but so I'm not fussy about occupying that because it's not got a lettered action. And I mean, yes, I think some of the lettered actions coming up in the extended game may well reinforce positions like that, but we'll just see that when it comes. So it could actually be that guy there that we want to move rather than move this unit out of C1. Okay, well, Grant, if you want to occupy these 2, so I'm going to move the sort of lesser unit back down the slope into there. That's a free move from the HQ. And so, and just move this unit here from the HQ. Yeah, what are you going to do next? Yeah, I need to sort of set myself a goal again. I feel like I'm at that bit now where I'm like, okay, we're on to the next part. What are we going to do? What is the best plan here? Kind of feeling like I want to secure the draw. I did have a glance at the sort of victory conditions there, but there's quite a lot to take in, so I'll maybe not go over that. 4 victory points for each draw you open to US traffic. A draw is open to traffic if you control every hex of the draw and your engineers have completely cleared it. Wow. And that's only 4 victory points, whereas you were getting 5 for it just now in the early game. Okay, but there is another quite a few options. 1 victory point for every non-infantry, non-HQ unit on the high ground. That's quite good. So we're poised in this position for quite a good setup for that, and that means you want to get that engineer base moving quickly and get them moving. And then you get some for moving units off the map at the letters. Okay. 1 victory point for each German reinforcement position you control in a hex on or adjacent to a major road or a minor road leading off the south edge of the map. There are a total of 42 such hexes, and all are marked with a victory point symbol. Right, yeah, so that's when it comes into that this hex here, for instance, isn't that important once we get into the extended game, because it's not worth a victory point. So, and whereas you can see over there in the A positions, all these are all victory point hexes, so yeah, okay. Right, well, I think it's a bit early to be looking at all that, Grant, but I do need to keep some kind of goal in mind. And I'm thinking try to take these out and get this draw sorted. I mean, that's not a victory point, is it? Neither's that. That one is. Okay, right. We're probably thinking too far ahead. Right, so do we go up there? Well, I think we have to now. We have to actually grab this point. So he's sitting there controlling that. So we go like that, and then we go like that just to protect that, do we? Or do we need to do that? Because I'm pretty sure they couldn't trace communication. No. Because, yeah, no, they can't. They couldn't take that. So we don't necessarily need to take, occupy that hex, shall we say. It might be that that's what I want to do, but okay, and then what are we doing with the HQ though? Yeah, that's another thing. The US engineers bases allow garrisoning of hex of positions. That's what we want to start doing as well, isn't it? Yeah, I probably need to have a look at that as well, but I won't bore you with that just yet. So I'm actually swithering there about leaving the other two units in place. They're not in any great danger. I mean, C3 could reinforce, but C1 can't, and I don't think this can. But and possibly moving. What do I think about moving the HQ back down to here? And for a couple of reasons, these. I'll see them. All right. These two units are about to land into here. Next turn. If I can then give them an action to move in there and grab the HQ. Of course, that was the other thing. We were wanting to maybe establish the HQ, weren't we? As a base. Yeah, and I think the further. Oh, hold on then. Does that not mean I need to occupy brown and purple if I'm wanting to do that? It would do, wouldn't it? Well, yeah, another thought I had, if I put the HQ in here, there's nothing that fires into here. I could establish a base there. And if I put it in here, I cannot because red is firing into there. However, I could put it into there. Oops. I could put it into there as long as I've got brown and purple occupied, or I could leave it there as I've got brown and purple occupied. I think it would be good to establish it early as well. Right, hi all. I had left things on pause there, and then the video must have cut off. But I've been away for a few hours anyway, so I'm not quite sure where I was. I know I was over on this side making my moves with action phase. However, there was 2 or 3 comments came in that are quite relevant to where I'm at. So I might sneak a wee reverse here because, well, something was brought to my attention that I never really clicked with me. There's also something else that I think I might have to make an adjustment to. So, comments are John Brown, he's back on viewing part 18, so he does say, I know I'm 4 videos behind, but hopefully this catches you before it's applicable. And he's talking about me being on the lower ground and not being able to control hexes above. Yeah, Martin mentioned that one, and well, I'm glad you both brought it up because it is possible I might have missed that. I'd like to think I might have thought it through a bit more when it came down to it, but not so sure. So thanks for that one, guys. He also says it's a good habit to get into trying to double the German strength since in the extended game. Well, we're just about to move on to that now, John. So It might have been wise back when you mentioned that, yes. And he points out that in the extended game, it defeats both a depth marker and the unit in one attack. So, yeah, I'm assuming you must need the weapons. So you get the weapons, and you double it. You double in strength. Then the depth marker is eliminated, and the unit is defeated. So that is quite huge. But as he also says, it can maybe take a bit more time getting double strength into that position, and sometimes it might be better just to do it in two chunks. But yeah, good point though, John. Yeah, it mentions about me saying, the link on the video about the observing unit needs to be infantry, cannot be artillery. I don't think I messed that one up, John. I think the part you linked, I looked at an artillery and realised that was in red, but I knew I couldn't use that. But I'm pretty sure I've got that anyway. But thanks for your comments, John. Good stuff. So yeah, and then Martin's gave me two kind of big ones. Yeah, I'll do. This was part 22, so I think I'm recording 25 right now, and it was our attack and defeat of. Where was it? Was it it was the brown position, wasn't it? I think. Because I got kind of excited about it. I'm going to have to go and look back on things anyway, because right, let's get the unit back anyway, because he shouldn't be in there. So it was this unit here, and you notice he's a slightly different colour, and he's a 916 unit. Now let's see, did you link the rule, Martin? 8.33. He did indeed. Very good, Martin. Good. So 8.33 says German withdrawal, and to be honest, I read over this just recently. I don't know why it didn't kind of click and made me think about, well, wait now, I've took out 3 reinforcement positions already, so could one of these be relevant? When a US attack defeats a German reinforcement unit of the 352nd Division, now, it's working out that I think you need to go back to the beginning to find what. Anyway, I'll read it on. The unit withdraws instead of being eliminated if it can trace German communication at the moment of the attack. Place the withdrawn unit face down division reinforcements box, regardless of reinforcement type. So it goes into the division box. Okay. So this is actually a tactical reinforcement, but it's going to get shuffled into the division reinforcement box. And it says defeated units not eligible to withdraw are removed from play. The following units are not eligible: WN unit, a reinforcement unit in the 716th Division. Right, these other 2 units that we've took out show a 726, but I think they are part of that. And you'll notice the difference in colour. These are kind of yellow, these are kind of brown. Martin makes some comment. I'll come back to your comment, Martin. And then a unit not in German communication. And this is the big one that I was talking about, that when you start attacking some of these later on reinforcements, you want to shut off communication so that they can't escape. Because although we were delighted and got all excited about taking this guy out, he's just getting shuffled back in again. He's going to come back. So carrying on with Martin's comment. So remember that German 352nd Division units in communication withdraw instead of becoming eliminated. That is, they are put in the division reinforcement box and can re-enter later. The 352nd units have a darker yellow symbol. So I'll just put, there's one of the other ones. So there's the difference between them. They have a darker yellow symbol, not the grey-brown they were supposed to have. So my guess is that something went slightly wrong there. I mean, I would say it's beige, but well, maybe they should have been grey-brown. And belonged to one of 916th, 915th, or 352nd, 350, that must be second, regiments. So he's a 916 unit. So, and just going to jump back to the beginning there to see if it does kind of let you know about that. Yeah, division. So this is 2.22 German units. German reinforcement units belong to one of two divisions, differentiated by the colour of the unit symbol. Yellow for the 716th Division, and grey-brown, as Martin said. Okay, yeah, you wouldn't really say that was grey-brown, but you can see it's a slightly different colour for the 352nd. So units in the 352nd may also be recognised by their regiment, the rightmost number in the unit's designation. Units designated 916, 915 or 352 are in the 352nd Division. Units in Regiment 726 are in the 716th Division. So basically, if we turn up one that's got this darker colour, that's where we worry. That's if we attack that and we don't shut off communication, then he just scurpers. He runs away and comes back to get you another day. So unfortunately, me being the perfectionist, I'm going to have to find out when that guy got eliminated, and then I'm going to have to maybe adjust some of the reinforcement units that I've already placed, because that's kind of how I do things, because it'll mess with time, you know. Time will be distorted and we'll all, I don't know, the universe will explode or implode or something. Well, to be honest, if I put it right back just now, there's only no, I'm looking at the wrong box. Yeah, there's only 2 units in the German division reinforcement box. That's how bad it's been for us. There's only 2 left in the box. So I'd feel a little uncomfortable at putting it back in there now, knowing that I knew the information on this was within the last 3 units. I mean, maybe maybe that's a wee bit like far-fetched and I shouldn't bother with that, but me being me. Right, so I'm just going to double check where we are with that. Okay, so it's not that far back. It's this turn that matters. And again, because we did get 3 events on the trot and they brought out reinforcements. So it's this turn's event that I'm going to shuffle them back up. Now, I'll leave the depth markers because they're not relevant. But our positions were B, D, and E. And where are we? B would have been up here with it. So we had B1. So I'm going to take this guy away, unrevealed. And then D was, I should have looked at the video and seen exactly which ones it was, shouldn't I? That would have been a smarter thing to do. Hang on. Okay, it was D2 and then E4. So, where are we? D2. Right, it's that one there. So again, I'll just leave the depth behind. And then E4, I think it's this purple one along here, which is the one that gave me the most fright, but it was okay in the end. Okay, so now I've got these 3 units, and then the unit that should have got shuffled back in. So I'm going to shuffle them 4 together, and the last 2 that are in the box. So I'll shuffle them up, and then I'll place them one at a time on, again, what was it, B1, D2, and then E3, was it? E4. Right, okay. Okay, all shuffled up. There's one for B1. There's one for D2, was it? Yep, that's where the depth marker is. And then finally, the last one goes in E4. Okay. I don't know, maybe that wasn't really all that necessary, but I mean that unit was pretty pretty bad. 4-strength flanking with BZ, I think it was. So I'll just put the other units back in. So we've got 3 units in the divisional reinforcement pool now, rather than the 2 that I had thought we had. Yeah, so now that one could be back out on the board now in one of the reinforcement positions. So it makes me feel better whether you care or not. I like to do it that way. So all good. So time has been settled and everything's good with the world and the universe and nothing can go wrong. Right, and then the other one Martin mentioned, and I was about to, I was about to kind of challenge his comments, which is not something you do lightly when Martin makes a comment, I bet he's hating all that. I bet you're hating that, Martin. You're like hiding under the table. So it was. He says if you move the 4-strength unit into WN60. Okay, he's got a link on where it is 57 in the video, but he says if you move the 4-strength unit into WN62 South. This is the green ones, I think. Yeah. He was talking about this one into there. He says you control both WN hexes. And I got that. So he's saying I should have just moved that into there and left. I think we had them both here or whatever. So just move that one in there. And I know it controls them both. And he says, and has also cut off German communication, making it safe for reoccupation. There's no need to move any other units back. And I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough, but the main purpose of me doing this was to establish this engineer base. So I thought, well, let's just go and have a look at the rules for establishing the engineer base again. And yeah, these cannot be in the field of fire off either occupied German position or an unoccupied German position that can trace communication. So that's why he's saying that. And here's me think. So it's the same rules. They've got to be able to trace communication. So a unit can't go there, and also it doesn't affect us building the engineer base here because a unit couldn't be placed there and able to trace communication. So and the reason it can't is because it can't trace along the pavilion, which is adjacent to the beach. So the only hex it would be able to trace into it would be here. But that's going to be in a US zone of controlling. I'm going to start maybe doing that a bit. Once it starts getting to this communication, I'm going to relate things to enemy action or then I think. Anyway, the US control this hex, so I can't trace communication through a hex that the US control. So yeah. Well, so thanks for that one too, Martin, because I think I can get away with a little bit of rewind here. There's no any new information. It does make me wonder about, things going on here. I could probably now move this unit. Because I don't know why I thought the hex had to be occupied before we could build an engineer base. And I'm pretty damn sure that if I go and look up the HQ base situation, which I'll just quickly find, he says, command post, establishing a command post. An HQ unit may convert to a command post in any hex that is not in the potential field of fire of any German position. If a German occupied position or an unoccupied position in German communication. So it's exactly the same as what the engineers are. So if I'm wanting to build my, for instance here, see if this you couldn't trace German communication from this hex, it would be fine to place to build the. Unfortunately, you can here. So if I go and occupy this hex, that's a different story. So so I might make a couple of adjustments here. Well, let's just put this guy back there now so I remember, because I'm going to have to remember where exactly they were. Because I probably don't want to put them both down there if I don't need to. Because I ended up bringing the HQ down, although I started thinking that the HQ could maybe benefit from. Oh, this is where I stopped, wasn't it? It was like what to do with the HQ, and then I started thinking about command posts, and then, well, if I'm going to bring the HQ back the way, that's a bit daft because I want to build the command post further up if I can. So that might make it better because I now do not need this unit down here. So let's make a slight adjustment to that. Anyway, thanks for your comments, guys, and keep them coming and keep me out of trouble. That's good. Right, okay, just looking back on things there, just to double check. I realise it does look like this video is going to stretch to 3 parts the way I'm going here. Do I need to keep explaining myself? I think any of you that keep following, that have followed my videos probably know how it goes, and I'm sure there's a lot of you just turned off a long time ago. Okay, right, I'm just going to put these guys back to where they were. He was in here and he was in here. So this was basically the last moves that I made. Now I did chuck this guy up to here. I think this was necessary though, because this was to be able to take the point that we kind of miscalculated, didn't we? I thought I was going to get 8 points across this side, and that's down to 7. And I think I've got 4 across the other side. So I think it's bang on 11. So it just shows you how close it was. But hopefully I've not made the mistake across the other side, or all this will be for naught. Okay, yeah, and I was just looking back there, and I seem to recall when I was talking about building the command post, saying that, all right, I don't need to have this hex occupied because it's not in communication. So why did I not think about that about the engineer base? I guess maybe I thought they were slightly different, but they are not. They are the same, which makes sense, really. So yeah, so in actual fact, well, no, that's true. You do need to put something in here, because right now, in fact, that was that not one of the examples I gave earlier on about German communication is traceable to this hex by into this drawer and then up there and then away. I'm pretty sure it was, wasn't it? So, however, German communication to here is not possible because they can't trace along into these pavilion hexes because they're adjacent to the beach, and they can't trace into this hex. So this hex is actually fine and doesn't affect the building of engineers' bases, doesn't affect a reoccupy action. However, this one would, and this one we need to enable the engineer base as well. So like Martin had pointed out, all you need to do is move that unit into there, and then all is good. So rather than bring this guy back, and I think I'd rather do that, because once I realised about establishing the command post as well, I mean, yes, it would be nice to bring the HQ back to bring in the next guys from the beach, but I mean, come on, I mean, we need to, that HQ probably needs to be established pretty quick. One thing I did think about looking for a little bit of advice was maybe how, where I want to try and put that command post initially. But then I thought, should you not be trying to deal with these things yourself, Grant? I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, Martin's given me a few pointers there, and so has John, about things to look out for, and there was more going into this where they said they were going to give me, some tactical ideas and some thoughts. So, I don't know if somebody did say where the best place to put me. I don't know. I mean, there's a temptation to move. Well, no, I can't put it in there, can I? I can't put it in there because red's firing into there, and this one is in and this one is in communication. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about the fact that brown, although it fires into this hex and it's unoccupied, it cannot trace German communication. So that was the thing. However, purple is found in it and can trace German communication. So at the moment, we can't build the command post right there where he is. So, however, if I move this unit in here, I then could build it there. Is that a lie? Because brown fires on here too. Brown can't trace in there, can't trace in there. Yeah, that would work. I don't know. I don't know if I want to try and push it a wee bit further. It feels to me like you want to try and get going, turn 17, get it happening. As soon as we hit that engineer phase, let's get the command post out. I don't know if everybody else is nodding their head or shaking their head though. Maybe I'll go and look for a wee tip for this. Right, hang on. I haven't done that yet because let me just see if I can sort this one out myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I just had a look there and thought, how about 1, 2, 3, 4? I can control. I'm talking 4 here, which is the highest. Don't get me wrong, but 1, 2, 3, 4. It basically I can control everything. I can command everything. Once I reach the command range of 4, 3, I'm probably not far away, to be honest. 1, 2, 3. I can command everything that would be within this draw, and also this draw over here, come the time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So, yeah, part of me is thinking, why not? Why not just plank it there? If I don't put it there, the best I can do is come back a hex, which seems to make no sense. I could put it in that hex, couldn't I? Yeah, I could move this infantry into here and then put the HQ into there. That would work. So that's 1 hex further up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't actually control anything here though. I'm tempted to just go for it where it is. Because the other annoying thing about that is if I move my HQ into here, mind you, these guys could come with it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm tempted to go away and look, see what the experts say. You know what? No, let's just make your own choice, Grant, and it'll be a learning game. I think I said that a while back that it felt like it was becoming a learning game, and of course I've got 2 veterans following me along, John Brown and Martin, so who going by what they've said, they know the game very well, so they've been guiding me along a little bit. I could wait on their opinion on this, but I don't think so. I think we can make our own choice here. And I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it where it is. Or am I going to push it that 1 hex further inland? I don't know. Part of me thinks 1 hex just further up that way means that the next HQ when it lands can go up into here somewhere. Well, the problem with that is that it's going to take... When do they come in? I suppose there must be enough time in the game to place the HQ and still reach, range 4 to make the command post. And I know I recall at least one game I played in the past where, because you can dismantle the HQ, the command post, and then start again, but it resets the track, so it's probably not something that you want to be doing. I think Quayle I put in the wrong position that time, which I might well be doing again. Just go and look, Grant. Go and look for some advice. No, it's no. Right, so I know I'm going on a bit about this, but I mean, you're only ever going to get 4 hexes at the very most. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it doesn't take it that far. If you look at the size of the map, let's explode things here and blow up the map a bit. Look, I mean, I'm going from here to 1, 2, 3, 4 up to here. You know, it's right. Hang on. Is there something else I should be looking at here? It's not to do with garrisons. No, that's the engineers, isn't it? That is the engineers, yeah. No, it's nothing to do with that, Grant. I don't think you're missing anything. I think you're just killing time here till hoping somebody's going to come on and tell you the best place to put your command post. Yeah, abandoning a command post. You can do that. Command range. Yeah. Capabilities, free actions, they all give radios, tank and artillery, range, fire, coordination. Yeah, and then there's a couple of restrictions that tell you about. Okay, right, okay, I'm reading stuff that not relevant to what we're doing. Right, okay. Here's another thought. 18.33. A CP, a command post, is considered a leader and may be hit by German fire. If a CP is hit, it immediately reverts to an HQ, flip the unit to its HQ side and remove its command range marker from the command track. The command post is not eliminated by German fire. Just the fact there's no fire in this hex. Now, I don't know what these tanks that Martin talked me into bringing along are going to do. I've no idea. I have not looked at them, but that seems like a safe hex. But so if I was to put it in this brown or purple, we'd need to watch these didn't get occupied. Or even sitting where he is, he's in brown and purple. I need to watch that. And then it says 18.32, a command post in the field of fire of an occupied German position may not command US units. In such a situation, the command post range marker retains its current position on the command track, but its range may not be increased. So that's another one that wouldn't happen if it was in this hex. But if it was in here and for some reason a unit came into here, I wouldn't then, and I had a command range of 4. Is that likely? That's probably not, isn't it? Yeah. Things to think about. Okay, I'm thinking here too much. I'm going to go with this, right? I'm going to move this down into here. Yeah. I'm going to move this into here. And I'm going to move this into here. And I'm going to move our HQ into here. Yeah. Now, hang on. I might make another slight adjustment. Yeah. I think I moved this unit from here to here. I think I'll move them to here. Was that right though? hang on. Yeah, this unit was in here, so hope you don't mind another little take back there. Remember the HQ was here, so let's just kind of rewind everything a little bit and just allow me to put him into there. He's still, the main purpose was to control this hex for the victory point. But I'm just thinking, I'm feeling like going for that orange position. And, next turn we could get 2 4 strength units in adjacent to it. Yeah. Why not? I mean, you've got to start making these moves. But he's on his own. He's not got depth, so seems like a decent move. Keeps all the units with the HQ, and like we've already said, now this position, well, both brown and purple are occupied, so there's no any danger there. And come the engineer phase, I could turn that HQ in a command post, which I think I will do. Yeah, okay, right, let's try and get this wrapped up, Grant, because I'm going to have to be heading off shortly. There's not enough of what I've got one action left to use, but I'm just wondering, since Martin brought it to my attention that I don't need to, as long as there's no communication traceable to this hex, and the purple for that matter. However, this unit's only a one-stepper, so if I was to move this away, if I move this in here, for instance, communication can actually be traced round there because this is only a one-step unit. So maybe the purple's staying until we at least get that base sorted. Yeah, I'm just... Ooh, wait a minute. I could move them up to there, actually. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually, is it? However, I mean... Oh, yeah, I'd like to have moved them in here, wouldn't I? Yeah. No, we can't do that. So that is going to spoil our plans. All I could do is move them in here, but I thought maybe that's not a terrible idea, and then maybe move this wee one-step unit back into here. I don't know how long. I mean, once the garrisons come along, they can take care of things a little bit, but that takes time. And I've always wondered about, should I leave this unit here or keep in this hex so that nobody can come and do something nasty to it, or should I move forward? You've got to balance between the two, I guess. In actual fact, I don't see the point in moving him there, really. Because I'm not really wanting to move him into there, am I? Yeah, I'll just leave that. Okay, so what about this, though? Because now... Well, we don't want to move him up there anyway, do we? We've been there before. Yeah, actual fact, maybe I just do want to leave him where he is. He's not in any danger, but needs to go on the high ground. Just needs to wait, I think. Just needs to be patient. Yeah, so probably we'll leave that situation as it is. Okay, and then, like I said, this last action, I think we'll do what I said and bring this tank along just into there. It's not terribly relevant, but that sort of 4 kind of strongest sort of units. Although I'm saying strongest units, we're no artillery there. This is the only artillery we've got. I mean, it's not Not a strong unit, but you know what? It'll take a while before it'll be able to get put to use, I think, anyway. So these are probably stand more chance of doing something than the artillery. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So I think we're done. So just double checking before I go. We do have this point. We don't have that. Red's firing into that. So we've got one for that purple point. We've got only one for the orange one. I think this is the one I miscalculated, thinking it was a 2 hexer. So that's 2. Then we've got control of this, because remember, he's on the high ground, but this is the low ground. So you can do it that way, but I couldn't do it the other way about. If he was down here, he wouldn't be controlling here. Right, we've been through that one, okay. Brown is not firing into there, so we've got another 2 points there. Well, we've actually occupying this hex now, so that's another point. And then brown, reds, nobody's in red, and then red, this one's controlling. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like I said, yeah. But like I said, I also calculated that 8 the first time. So hopefully we have got the 4 across the other side. Right, unfortunately I'm going to have to cut it there, guys. It's probably going on quite long enough anyway. Just by all my... Yeah, once I get carried away and start talking about things, and then Martin and John keep posting comments, and I've got to like come back. Nah, I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Yeah. Okay, so I'll leave that at that. Unfortunately, we're still not getting to see if we're going on to turn 17. It seems to be taking an awful long time. What do you know? That's Grand Toss's videos, eh? Right, okay, I'll be back with the other half of the turn 16's action phase tomorrow sometimes, guys. Okay, cheers.